They say IPL is where talent meets opportunity. Over the years, so many young, unknown but very talented faces have met this opportunity and milked it like nobody's business. And with more and more exclusions in IPL 2020, this door is far wide open for all these youngsters and the opportunity stands right there. So here are 6 debutants that you must look forward to in IPL 2020. There's a hole in the CSK batting lineup at the moment, a gaping one. A hole that no one thought would ever exist and yet it does. And with the return of Suresh Raina, well, just a speculation at the moment, you can bet your money that someone will need to stand up and own that coveted spot in the CSK batting lineup. And the one man who can do that is a compact, aggressive player called Ruturaj Gaikwad. Yes, in the last 2 years in list A cricket in India, no one has scored more runs than Gaikwad. He averages 49 in list A cricket and strikes at almost 100. Having been on MS Dhoni's radar for quite a while now, you know that there's more to Ruturaj Gaikwad than meets the eye, and that he can not only fill that hole for the CSK, but can also take them places come IPL 2020. From one man in the trenches of the CSK to another talent powerhouse on the trenches of the RCB. Devdutt Paddikal is a run machine in Indian domestic cricket. In the last seasons of Vijay Hazare Trophy and Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, no batsman scored more runs than Paddikal. He was in the Ranji Trophy, Karnataka's highest run scorer. And yet, where does that leave this talent powerhouse? A space in that batting lineup in the RCB that screams pedigree. If news and speculations are to be believed, AB de Villiers might keep wickets for the RCB this season. If that happens, he might still outclass Parthiv Patel in that race for the second opener in the side. If he does get to that point, you can be rest assured that he will score runs in heaps for the RCB. If Paddikal can score runs in heaps, Ravi Bishnoi can take wickets in heaps and heaps, as he showed at the Under-19 World Cup earlier this year, where he picked 17 wickets at an average of a shade under 11, emerging as the tournament's highest wicket taker. Every time Ravi Bishnoi is at the top of his bowling mark, you know something is going to happen. And while the IPL is a different level of competition and also a different level of pressure, he can be a very valuable addition to the Kings 11 Punjab if he can create the same magic as he did in South Africa, where he turned the ball big and turned the ball square. He can do it in the UAE for the Kings 11 Punjab. We are in for a great show. Well, if you talk of players putting up a show at the Under-19 World Cup and you don't talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal, you've either been living under a rock or, well, you don't know, but you've been living under a rock. His is a David-esque story in a Goliath-esque world. Yashasvi Jaiswal beat the odds to reach the highest of stages, and once he did, he conquered it all. The highest run scorer at the Under-19 World Cup this year, Yashasvi scored 400 runs, 114 more runs than the next guy on the list. 1 century, 6 half centuries. The only time in that tournament he didn't score a half century was when India were chasing just 42 against Japan. Not only that, in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, he scored in excess of 500 runs in just 6 games at an average of 112 plus, hitting 25 sixes in that tournament. This little dynamite can take the IPL by storm, but he's vying for that coveted opener spot in that Rajasthan Royals' lineup. One of that spot is already taken by Jos Buttler. He's not moving. For the other spot, he has to fight the likes of Manan Vora and Robbie Uthappa, 2 very fine contenders. But you know, if Yashasvi Jaiswal makes the cut, this southpaw can really make things happen for the Rajasthan Royals. Imagine Kevin Peterson and Jos Buttler rolled into one batsman. Now imagine that batsman in form. A picture that you'd arrive at would look quite like Tom Banton. Yes, Tom Banton took the world by storm in the NatWest T20 Blast in 2019, where he piled up 549 runs, becoming the second highest run getter in that season, and he struck at a strike rate of in excess of 160. He's shown what he can do with his bat. He can reverse sweep, he can play down the ground. He's got all the shots in that book. And now, with Chris Lynn gone, that opener slot, you'd bet, is Tom Banton's in the KKR. Now here's a name you didn't think would pop up in this list, and yet he is here. If you followed the Big Bash in the recent times and played fantasy alongside, you know this man gets you points every time without fail, because he bowls at crucial junctures and picks up wickets. Ever since his debut in the 2017-18 season, only one bowler has picked more wickets than Daniel Sams, and that is Rashid Khan. Sams has picked up 52 wickets in the Big Bash, 26 of which he's picked up bowling in the death overs, which means he's a specialist and a key in perhaps the most crucial phase of a T20 game. And Delhi Capitals, if he goes rolling for you in the UAE this year, he can do special things. Talent is rare. Opportunity is rarer. Talent meeting the correct opportunity at the correct time is the rarest of combinations. So many youngsters in this IPL, like in every other IPL, will have an opportunity to live a dream, and perhaps while doing that, also writing their own destiny. These were the 6 debuts that we thought were very exciting and could make for exciting viewing this IPL 2020. You may have an entirely different list. If you have one, don't forget to share that with us on Cricbuzz. We are present on all social platforms. All that you have to do is share.